be a relatively short video because I don't have all that much to say about Murder on the Orient Express, but it is important to include it on this list because it has been indirectly very influential on all of my mature work. And if I had to reduce it to any one word, I'd say that's mystery. Now, it was not the first mystery film I had ever seen, but it was the first time I had seen something based on a novel by Agatha Christie. And knowing that the movie was forthcoming, I made a point of reading Murder on the Orient Express before seeing it, which is, I know, fairly typical of me in the sense of I wanted to know who done it before I had to sit through trying to figure out who done it. But anyway, for those of you who don't know, I'm not going to reveal who done it, but let's just say it's one of her most famous novels and recurringly popular. As filmmaking, the film doesn't really have much impact on me at all, very, very indirectly through Jeffrey Unsworth's cinematography, nor even the production design, because even though I can easily point to the production design as really superb, it's not the kind of thing that interested me, nor did it even really excite any interest in the 30s, which was to come later when I saw The Conformist. So why do I stress mystery? Well, because partly as a result of enjoying Murder on the Orient Express, I continued to watch similar cozy mysteries, particularly the Charlie Chan series, and then through television in the 90s and later, back to Poirot in the Poirot series. The point being that I have long enjoyed that kind of enclosed mystery with a limited set of characters, the tricky storytelling, and all of the above. However, I'd also say that at that level, Murder on the Orient Express and mysteries serve as a kind of interesting pivot between my earlier youthful interest in narrative and where I was eventually to go. I once scandalized a literature professor by saying that as far as fiction was concerned, my favorite author was Agatha Christie. And he was sort of taken aback by that. And after a pause, he said, well, that's kind of a nice postmodern definition of quality. And I thought, well, yeah, right. And it is. And I think that that captures the personal importance of Murder on the Orient Express, both novel and film, for me, in that it does serve as this bridge between the kind of satisfactions that traditional narrative can provide and the irony and self-conscious undercutting of expectation that you get in someone like a Christie. Now, I should explain this by saying that even as a kid, the kinds of stories that I most liked were not Tom Sawyer and, the usual American thing. What I liked were things like Ray Bradbury, or also things like the Twilight Zone series. In other words, things that had kind of a mystery element, but where the solution is either supernatural or unnatural or paradoxical and so on. That eventually, in my adulthood, led to Borges, etc. And so something like Murder on the Orient Express as a movie served as a pivot between the two kinds of films. Except in film terms, it was actually sort of a reverse. I had an early attraction to the more nonlinear narrative, Borges and Brogrier, etc. And with the help of films like Murder on the Orient Express, I found those films in Hollywood, the traditional mysteries that were the kind of thing that most people actually went to mysteries for. So there you go, my short version of why Murder on the Orient Express is, for me at least, a very important film.